Hello friend, the topic is classification of material, that is 1.1 from the model number 1. So we have already studied the importance of material science and that material engineering, right? Why it is required. Then everyone knows the importance of these particular subjects. So as university has decided to go for these 4 type of material, that is first one is metals, second one is ceramics, third one is polymer, and last one is composite. So question will be asked depends on only these 4 type of materials. Right, so we'll go for one by one. First one is metal. So everyone knows what is metal, non-metal, and different types of materials. So we have already studied this particular type of the material, but we will revise once again. So first one, metal is made up of what? One or two or more metallic element along with some non-metallic element, right? Means metals can be generated or can be created by metallic elements plus some non-metallic element, right? Then what are the properties? So everyone knows the properties are metals are stiff and strong, right? Then second one is density is high. Then what is meaning of density is mass per unit volume. Means for small volume of the metals we will have greater mass or greater weight. The density is high for the particular metal. Then it is ductile. Ductile is nothing but what? Opposite of ductile, that is somewhat you can call it as a brittle one, right? Means ductility of the metal is somewhat high, means it will not directly fracture. There will be some deformation before the fracture of the particular material, or you can call it as metals. And fourth one is there is presence of non-localized electrons. Non-localized electrons, that is free electrons are present in metals. So because of this, metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, right? So always remember metal, that is example is simple copper, right? So presence of the non-localized electron, or also it is called as a free electrons, or you can write as a free electrons, that leads to good conductor of electricity, also heat, right? And they are lustrous, right? So difference between metal and non-metal is lustrous are the major properties of metal, but that is not a property of the non-metal. So example is ferrous, aluminum, and copper. So I will share the graph of these 4 type of material that will distinguish between metal, ceramic, polymer, and composite. So I will share on your group. Then second is ceramics. And ceramic is what? Combination of metallic element plus non-metallic elements, right? So always remember metals are only made up of metallic elements and small amount of non-metallic elements. So right, so always remember non-metallic elements are there, right? But it is of only small amount, right? But in ceramics formed by metallic elements and non-metallic elements, right? So how we can find out the ceramics? So these are the likes oxides, nitrides, and carbides, right? So definitely first one is aluminum oxide, then second one is silicon oxide, then silicon carbide, and silicon nitride. Means if you found the material like oxide, nitrides, carbides, then it is nothing but what? Ceramic, right? So aluminum is what? Metals, and oxygen is nothing but non-metal. Silicon is metal, oxygen is nothing but non-metal. Similarly, means this is the composition of metal and non-metallic element, and it is called as the ceramics, right? So normal ceramics are clay material, glass, and cement. So if you remember these two, cement is example of ceramics, also the glass is example of ceramics. If you understood these two important materials, definitely you can find out the properties of the ceramics. What will be the properties? So ceramics are extremely brittle, right? Means there is no ductility, means there is no deformation when you are applying an external load, so that it will directly break. That is lack of ductility, means it is extremely brittle. That example is glass is extremely brittle, then it is relatively very hard, right? As compared to metal, the ceramics are very hard, more brittle. Third one is sensitive to the fracture, right? Similarly, as it is brittle, definitely it is sensitive to the fracture. Then low electrical conductivity, or it is also called the insulating material. This conductivity of the ceramics is low as compared to metal, and positive property of this ceramic is resistance to high temperature and harsh environment, right? Is definitely metals are sensitive to the corrosive environment, sure, but ceramics are more resistance will be generated by the ceramics to the high temperature and harsh environment, right? The third one is polymer, right? So okay, metals example is ferrous, simple. Then ceramic, cement, right? Then polymer is nothing but plastic, right? So plastic is example of the polymers. Then polymers is nothing but plastic or rubber material, right? Plastic or rubber, then definitely we can have, or we can understand what are the different properties will be there for the particular polymers, right? But okay, so organic compound based on carbon, hydrogen and other non-metallic elements, that is polymers are made up by organic compound based on the carbon and hydrogen, right? So that will be oxygen, nitrogen and silicon, right? So large molecular structure will be available for the different polymers, right? So we have already gone through the chemistry, right, where definitely different types of plastic, that is polyethylene, nylon, PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride, right? So different molecular structure is available for the polymers. So remember, polymers is nothing but plastic or any rubber material that can be formed by the organic compound like carbon, hydrogen or other non-metallic elements. So metal formed by the only metallic element, a small amount of non-metal. Ceramic formed by metallic plus non-metals, and polymers is formed by the organic compound based on the some non-metallic element, that is carbon and hydrogen or any other element, right? Then what are the property? Low density, means weight mass per unit volume ratio of the polymer is very less, right? Then it is flexible, we can form a complicated shape for the particular polymers, which is not possible for the metals and ceramics. Then chemically inert and unreactive to large number of environment, means polymers are chemically inert, right? Then more sensitive to the temperature, means small change in the temperature will create deformation in the polymers, means these materials are more sensitive to the temperature. Then low electrical conductivity and non-magnetic property, right? The three is over. First one is metal, ceramic and polymer. Then last one is simple composite. Composite is nothing but combination. The composite material is nothing but combination of material discussed above, means combination of metal plus ceramics or combination of ceramics plus polymers or combination of metal plus polymers, right? So these are the composite material, right? So definitely metals are relatively hard, metals are somewhat ductile, and if you compare with the ceramics, these are relatively hard material, right? So if you combine metals and ceramics will get the ductile property as well as hard property. That is nothing but composite property we are getting from what? The composite materials. So common example are wood and bone. So one of the example is given. Small glass fiber embedded with a polymeric material, that epoxy polyester, that is called as the fiberglass. So fiberglass is an example of composite material. So it is made up by small glass fiber, and glass fiber is ceramics and is embedded within a polymeric material, that is nothing but the plastic. So glass means ceramics and polymers combinedly form the fiberglass, that is called as the composite property. Means we will get the better properties of these two material combinedly in the material that is called as a fiberglass, right? So there are different types of composite materials. So definitely that composite materials is nothing but combination of what you have discussed, that is three: metal, ceramics and polymers. So always remember, and आप वीडियो पॉज करके आप फिर से वो देख सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज मीनिंग ऑफ मेटल्स, देन ceramic, polymer and also composite, right? So I will share the graph of comparison between these four type of material, right? So between metal, ceramic, polymer and composite, what are the resistance to fracture, then density. We have a graph from books, right? So that I will share on the groups. So please go through this particular graph. You will understand the comparative study between these four type of material. Okay, thank you.